I started my journey with Cisco Technologies. I worked there for a year, and then I worked for Wipro Technologies for another 1.5 years. And then, I realized that it's not my piece of cake. This is not what I want to do. I want to do something else. So I started Go Papers. It was an online grocery business. We started the business with zero money. There were 4 co-founders, 3 from IIT Guwahati and 1 was me. We started with the idea that online grocery is the demand of the economy and the lifestyle. We started that business, and within 2 years, we ramped up the business from 0 to 50 CR sales per annum. And that was the determination of the 4 co-founders. And what I will share with you is the journey of the Go Papers in that tenure of 2 years. What has happened with me? Because found तो मैंने अभी ZiffyHomes भी करी है, but पहला प्यार हमेशा पहला प्यार होता है. So Go Papers is always my first love. So I will share those instances with you which has happened to me in my life for the very first time. Be it the first consumer interaction, be it first investor interaction, be it formulating the founding team, which is the essence of any venture. So, I will jot down certain points which will probably give you a holistic view that when you start up a business, what sort of challenges do you face? I mean, whether it be financial, personal, social, or fear of being nascent into the industry, and formulating the founding team. So, I will start my conversation that how do I have found my initial co-founders. It was a very interesting story. I was working with Wipro Technologies and I was living in Noida Sector 15. And with me, there was another flatmate of mine who was an IIT Guwahati pass out. And he was working with Oracle. He was living with me. We were 2 happy flatmates. We were living there together. He goes to Oracle, I go to Wipro, and he was happy, but I wasn't. I wasn't happy with my job. So one fine day, his ex-IIT Guwahati colleague, who was again working with Wipro in Bangalore, he left his job and came to Delhi with a sole aim to found a business. But with a single penny. He does not have a single penny in his hand. He came to Delhi and he started asking for help from all his friends, and fortunately this guy named Sanjay, who was my happy flatmate, he said, यार तू मेरे यहाँ आ जा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हमारा फ्लैट बड़ा है, मैं सलिल से बात कर लेता हूँ, उसे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, तू आ जा. He shifted to our house. I'm telling you the story how I found my co-founders, because that's a phenomenal thing in your startup to happen, because if it does not happen, you will not go for long. So Divyanshu came to my house, and I was not a so happy employee with Wipro. I was not happy with my work. I was looking for opportunities. I was looking for something which can make me happy, which can give me a feel of creating something. So we discussed the idea, we discussed the business. For months and months we researched. I took leaves from Wipro, we used to go to Big Bazaar, we used to sit with consumers, we used to understand consumer from a very basic level, that what does consumer demand? Because FMCG is a very big market and it's a very complex market. And for nascent people like us who has hardly spent 1.5 years in the technology industry and now ramping up to retail, FMCG retail, which is the hardest market in India. So we did all that research, we worked together, and one fine day, we both conversated in a manner that Divyanshu said to me, yaar tu team mein aaja. I want you to be my co-founder. And on the other hand, I was thinking to say the same. कि यार मैं co-founder बनूंगा, मुझे भी काम करना है, I love the idea, I want to build it up. I want to build it up. And then certainly the marriage happened. So it was the first instant when I met my co-founder. Making co-founder is the hardest job when you are creating a startup. Because to get a complementary co-founder is very important. Is very, very important. And post this, we launched the business. We got our first consumer, we interacted with them, everything happened very good. In a month's time, we got a first call from an investor. I refrain myself from taking any names, but he's a sizable amount of venture capitalist. He called the GoPapers team to his office for the first investment meeting, because we were the only one in the northern India who were doing the online grocery business. The only behemoth in India in the online grocery space was Big Basket, which was working in the southern part of the India. We got our first call. Can you imagine? Technology graduates, those who have worked hardly 1.5 years in companies like Wipro, Sterlite, Cisco, and they got their first investment call from a behemoth investor, and they are there to present the business plan. He asked a simple question: do you know the size of Indian FMCG market? We said, yes sir, 500 billion US dollars. So he said, do you think with merely 5 million US dollars, you can change a market of 500 billion US dollars in next 2 years? You know, we felt so stupid. We are there to change a 500 billion US dollar market with just 500 million US dollars, and that too in next 2 years, which none other than Big Bazaar, Spencer's could have done in the last 15 years with thousands of million US dollars into investment into the company. So he truly said, boss, what do you think? With just 1.5 years of experience into technology space, can you change the FMCG retail market? I said, certainly this is what we are looking for. Certainly we are looking for this. Very interesting scenario that he has put forward in front of the team was that what happened if I give you a 5 million US dollar check? What happened after 6 months? You guys start bleeding terribly. You guys start losing money without any idea that how money could be recovered. What will you do? And obviously you don't have any idea that why we are bleeding out of money. So we were speechless. We don't have any idea. You know, we have started the business. This was the first month of the business. We have served hardly 15 customers. I'm telling you the exact scenario. We have started the business, 15 customers being served, and the first call from a very big venture capitalist. So actually मैं तुम्हें अपनी टीम की stupidness बता रहा हूँ, शुरुआत में जो हमने करी थी. So he said, you started bleeding out of money and you don't have any idea that you are bleeding money and you don't have any idea to recover it. What will you do? We said, when we do not have any idea, what we will do? We cannot do anything. We will continue bleeding money. He said, I will ask you all to come out of your board and I will put my people on the board. There will be no CEO from the founder. There will be no CEO from the founder. I will put my guys on the board. We were speechless. You know, in the very initial days when your idea is your own, when your venture is your own, and someone comes and say that I will remove you from the board and I will keep a different CEO and COO, it was very difficult for us to absorb that thing. You know, to consume that is very difficult, boss. You have to be highly flexible to accept something like this coming from an investor at a very initial stage of your business. And he was actually drilling us. He was actually drilling the team. He was seeing that what kind of flexibility does the team has, to what level, to what extent does these 4 guys can go to rise above GoPapers and to make GoPapers scale up. That was his vision and that was his idea of seeing the things. And you know what I said? The other 3 co-founders were sitting beside me and I saw them on both the sides, and I saw the investor and I said, okay sir, we would love to see what magic your people can bring on the table which we couldn't. And that has actually impressed the guy, and he said, okay, I got it. So you guys have the flexibility to reach a certain level. But unfortunately the the sad part of the story is he didn't wrote a check of $5 million US to us. He didn't. But we continued the passion, we continued the business, and within 2 years, we made a business of $10 million US and we sold out to someone. So, I mean, the idea is when you start a business, it takes a lot of effort to build a business on a scale. So, as I said, financial risk is one of the biggest factors that grooves your mind when you start a business. And then personal risk, and as I said, that risk of being nascent into the industry, which is the biggest risk. Let's say you start for a food tech industry, then people will ask you, you don't have any background, you don't have any experience, how can you succeed in the industry? So this is irrelevant that whether you have the experience or whether you do not have the experience. If you have the mindset, if you have the willingness to succeed in a certain amount of business, you can certainly do it, no matter. I mean, I was having none of the idea, the least of the idea in food tech business or the real estate business. We raised funding in real estate business as well. I have worked with Rocket Internet teams, global teams for a year's time, and you know what? I found those businesses are good to build. I mean, they're entirely different from what I have done, but they have valued my spirit of entrepreneurship, the attitude of entrepreneurship. So that is what entrepreneurship is. It's not about building a business necessarily, it's about living your life that way. So, as I was telling you that it's a 7 years old entrepreneurial journey that I have been through. I mean, right from Go Papers, where I've built a $10 million US venture, and then working with a top investment banking company, which was Rocket Internet. I worked with them on a global level, and then working with again Thai global funded company, which is Zorooms, and then again building my own venture. So, doing all those things, I have realized I've met thousands of people from the educational background, from the entrepreneurial background, from the venture catalyst industry, from the angel investors, every one of them. Those who have lots of cash, those who have cash reserves, huge cash reserves, and those who does not have a single penny like me when I started my business. So, what I have categorized particularly, again I would say, don't create a perspective based on what I share with you. What I have categorized particularly in every entrepreneur is the selling ability. Because when you are an entrepreneur, you have to sell your product, your idea, your business proposition to everyone, right from your founding team, right from your first customer, you have to sell your idea. And you know what? Most importantly, an entrepreneur always sells a hope. He has to sell a hope of good being, that he will drive the change. So that's what is a mandatory thing for selling the things. So thank you guys. Do you have any other question that you would like to ask with me, whether here or on an offline session? I will be more than happy to sit with you guys. Anything at the moment? You guys clear about entrepreneurship? Do you guys think that this 1 hour session can give you an absolutely crystal clear idea about entrepreneurship? It cannot. It never cannot. It cannot give you. I mean, every day, every instance you learn about it. But still, if you have any queries, please put them forward.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Shivam Agarwal, BTech first year. My question to you is, you being an UPTU graduate, how difficult or easy was it for you to enter the startup club, which is conventionally filled with IITs and NITs? So how tough or easy was it for you?
That's a very heart-touching question that you have asked me, You know, that's a very heart-touching question that you have asked to me. Yeah, it is not so conventional, obviously, for obvious reasons. I mean, again, you know, the society creates a perspective that only the graduates that comes out of IITs and IIMs have the access to best of the knowledge, best of the network, best of the minds. So, only the perspective reference from entrepreneurs like me coming out of UPTU or any other normal college. So if we can break that perspective by creating strong examples, we will definitely create an equal society where there's no IIT driven or IIM driven ventures being funded. And you can recently see that what is happening with IIT and IIM ventures being funded, they're bleeding badly. So it's not about the IIT and IIM tag that you have, it's about the instinct, it's about the attitude of entrepreneurship that you carry with you. And you know what? True venture capitalist only sees that and only values that.
गुड इवनिंग सर. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि लिविंग अ कन्वेंशनल जॉब एट विप्रो, हाउ डिड यू गैदर्ड गट्स टू स्टार्ट ऑफ अ न्यू जर्नी ऑफ स्टार्टअप? सर हाउ डिड यू ओवरकम दैट फियर?
पंसारी सुना होगा अपन ने, इलाहाबाद में तो पता है ना, पंसारी की दुकान जो आटा दाल चावल बेचता है.
यस सर.
So the moment I, told my father, I'm leaving the job and I'm going to start something of this sort, Go Peppers, which was typically an online pansari की दुकान, जहाँ आटा दाल चावल बेचना था. तो my father's first reaction was, यार क्या हो गया है, तू पागल हो गया है क्या? अभी 2 महीने में तेरा वीजा लगने वाला है, तू बाहर जाएगा, कहाँ ये पंसारी अंसारी की दुकान खोल रहा है? So, that was a pressure from my family as well as from the social peers. सोसाइटी से बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशर था. हर आदमी ये कहता था कि वो तो गुड़गांव जाके, दिल्ली जाके, उसने तो आटे दाल चावल का धंधा कर लिया है. मैं उन्हें जब एग्जाम्पल देता था कि बिग बाजार किशोर बयानी भी तो ये कर रहा है, तब भी उन्हें नहीं समझ में आता था. नहीं, वो सब ठीक है, लेकिन यार ये अच्छी बात नहीं है. तो although it was very difficult for me to understand and for me to convince them, but as I truly said that I was an entrepreneur, I am an entrepreneur, so I sold my point them to pretty well, and within some amount of time they were, okay with it. I was able to sell hopes to them that पापा मैं ये करूँगा, आप देखना 2 साल में क्या होगा, साल भर में क्या होगा. So again that comes to the same point. If you can sell your point, if you can sell your proposition, and most importantly, if you can sell your hope to anyone sitting in front of you, you can do it. Thank you guys, thank you very much.